Welcome to the Black Rabbit. My name is Fotis, and in my channel, I explore occultism, psychology, and everything that I find interesting in regards to personal, spiritual, physical, emotional, mental development. So, today I'm going to be talking about the second tarot card of the deck, and that's gonna be the tarot card of the Magician. Now, in the previous video, I talked about the tarot card of the Fool, which is the zero tarot card, and that's considered the first tarot card. But how are these two interconnected and related? Because one has to be the continuation of the other card. So all these cards are just continuations of these cards, and how the whole tree of life is created from the source, which is Kerther, and how it comes down and it crystallizes itself to the physical plane, which is going to be Malkuth. It's going to be the kingdom. It's going to be Earth. And so now this path is the path of that connects Kether with Chokmah. It's going to be the path that connects the divine with wisdom, and wisdom is attained through stepping into the unknown, and this is the pure potential of the universe as it gets expressed and created. But the second thing that allows the universe to explore this raw potential is the archetype of the Magician, which that explores the potential that is on the Fool side, and the Magician creates the universe. So let's go straight without talking too much about these two cards. Let's just go straight and decode the Magician card. We're gonna decode the image of it, what each thing on this card gonna represent, what does it represent. We're gonna dive into the element and the planetary energy that rules this card, and I'm gonna try to make a small connection between these two. I already said that this is a pure potential, and this is using the pure potential to shape the universe on the grand scale, but on the smaller scale, when it comes to humans, these two cards have a very big significance. They are the two first cards of the tarot deck, and they are the two first cards that after the divine boom, I would say, this two card emerges first. So I'm gonna have the Magician tarot card as a full screen right here, so you can have a better look at it. And let's go straight into the Magician card. So I'm gonna start with saying that the Magician card is one of the cards that exist in the major arcana. The major arcana are the major arcane. Arcana means secrets, so it's the major secrets. That's why there are 22 cards on this on the major arcana. It's gonna be 56 cards on the lower arcana, on the minor arcana. So let's start with what is the Magician. So the Magician, that follows the infinite potential of the Fool, represents the first act of conscious creation. So it is a card of mastery, and it's a card of transformation, and the power of focused will, of gathering the resources of the pure potential, and actually being the Magician that directs and knows the four elements to direct something and to create it into crystallization. So to fully understand the Magician, we have to explore all the symbolic layers and the behavioral dimension, the psychological dimension of this card, as well as its practical application. So I'm gonna start with saying this for this certain video that I'm creating right now. So in order for me to create this video, I had to first think of the so how does the magician plays out through this video that I'm creating right now. So with the power and the element of fire, that is willpower and creativity, and this burning passion that I have for my channel, I use this as the fire element. Then I will take the intellectual side, which is the element of air, to break down this card intellectually. Now, the emotion behind this action that I'm doing right now to create this video is me expressing my truth and me expressing what I love doing the most, which is going to be psychology and the occult. And the practical application of me creating this video is just sitting my ass down on a chair, taking out my phone, filming this video, editing it, creating a thumbnail, uploading it through YouTube, planning out how I'm gonna talk about this card. So this is the practical application. So now that I am connecting all these dimensions together, which is gonna be the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical, the spiritual being more as the fire, the primitive fire. So I will, the end result you will see is this video about me creating this outcome, which is gonna be what you see on your screen, a video on YouTube. All right, so this is the practical application of all these forces. So I think that gives a good introduction of what the magician is. So what are the key themes of the magician? The magician manifests. So the ability to turn ideas into reality and to bridge the ether, which is going to be the realm of ideas, into the material world is literally the magician. The magician manipulates reality. It's not that we manipulate reality in a bad way, it's that we are taking conscious decisions to take one idea that comes into the mind and actually be able to materialize it. So this is the key theme of the magician. Now the magician himself, as you will see on the screen, he displays and he has in his capacity on his table, as you see on this red table, the 4 elements. Now the pentacle you will see there represents the physical realm. The sword next to it is the intellect and it's the air element. The cup is going to be the emotion, and the wand, which is in front of the cup, is gonna be the fire and the willpower and the passion for creativity. All right, so through action, we deliver, we as humans, like everyone is a magician until they realize it. And some people may never got into the occult, and that's just fine. They are magicians in their own right. The ability to take one thought and to materialize it on the physical plane is just being a magician. So even if somebody is not into the occult field, not in the spiritual field whatsoever, they are a magician. And this is an archetype of the collective unconscious and of our personal unconscious that we embrace when we are taking action on a thought that we have. So let's see. Let's talk about the stance of the magician. So the magician is depicted as a male, because a male is like the masculine energy is just taking action. And he stands there behind the table confidently, which represents mastery. And also his hand that points up to the heavens and his right arm, and the left arm, which points down to earth, is the ability to connect the spiritual realm with the physical realm and to merge these two worlds together in order to create a certain outcome. All right, this is the principle of as above, so below. And this is literally what this means. It's having the role of connecting divine inspiration with earthly manifestation. So as we talked about before, the tools of the table, there's gonna be the pentacle for earth, which is gonna be the physical resources, stability, and material wealth. And then the cup is the emotion, the intuition, and the subconscious mind. It's going to be the water element. The sword is the intellect, the logic, and the communication. And the wand is represented by the element of fire, which is creativity, passion, and action. So the ability of the magician to possess all these tools on the table is his ability to have a mastery over the realms of existence itself, the mind, the body, and the spirit, and to be able to align these realms and these dimensions all together to create a certain outcome based on will. So the infinite symbol on his hand is the magician's ability to tap into the universal infinite potential and universal energy, which is literally infinite. Like the things you could do on this world are infinite. The creativity that you could have on this world and bring into this world is just like limitless. It's infinite. And it also represents that the magician's power is not really limited to the material world, but extends into the internal and the divine essence. And so the infinite symbol, if you reverse it upside down, you will see that it's a connection between the higher realms and the lower realms. And in the middle is you. All right, you are the vessel of these two worlds, and you can bring them all together and align them. So the one that he uses on his right hand is the channeling tool that directs spiritual energy into focused intention and to conscious will. Underneath him, there are white flowers and red flowers, which is also depicted in his clothing. Inside he wears the white robe, which is spiritual purity, and coming to from the inner like layers of the self. If it's spiritual and if it's pure, you can channel it outside, and then it turns into color, which is gonna be red. And the red is just like the color of the blood. It's gonna be the color that runs through us and inside us, and it represents the union of these both colors, the white and the red, which is gonna be a connection between the pure spiritual ideas that come into blood, into body, into manifestation. So this garden that arises from his feet is literally his ability to blossom and to create a beautiful environment from his ability to materialize. He has all his tools in his hand, and now he can create a beautiful world for himself. And so it's the garden is fertile, and it symbolizes a potential for growth and abundance. And with the right focus, the right effort, the right resources, you can yield fruitful outcomes, just like these beautiful flowers underneath. So this card is the element that is this card is air, the element of air, the air being the realm of ideas. Now you might ask why it's only ruled by the air element. Well, my guess is gonna be that the air element is the ability to tap into the infinite mind, and also to be able to translate thoughts into action. So that's why this card is ruled by the element of air. And so air is directional. You can direct things with air. And this card is also ruled by Mercury. And Mercury, or otherwise known as Hermes, If you know something from Greek mythology, you're gonna see that Hermes was the messenger of the gods to the people, and that's a symbolic ability within us to be able to uh, take the divine will and bring it down into the material plane. So that's what it means to be a messenger of the gods. It means to be someone that um, is able to go into the higher divine realms and bring down the information and the action, which is literally what the magician represents. So, what else? So, the magician embodies the first stage of individuation, where the seeker begins to integrate conscious will with unconscious potential. It's like the bridge. It's the zero and the ones. It's the binary code. The zero being the infinite potential, and the one is taking action to interpret this infinite potential of the full. And I'm gonna give a little bit of an example of how this manifests into somebody's life. Like, most of the people will have a very mediocre life just because they cannot embrace the full archetype. They cannot be fullest. They cannot go through this flat line of not being able to embrace the most of the highs and the most of the lows. And the fall is the ability to step into the unknown, and to step out of the comfort zone, becoming a fool, doing mistakes that will lead you to understanding reality itself, understanding what it's like to go out of the comfort zone. And that will lead you to become a magician, that a magician can use the four elements and the four dimensions of reality in order to create. And you cannot really create if you create the life of your dreams if you don't become a fool first that steps into the unknown. And many people are very secure into thinking that living a very safe life inside of a comfort zone, we're gonna uh, we're gonna lead them into a safe way of living. But the truth is, my dear seeker and explorer of this channel, that if you don't embrace the highs and the lows and the extremes, you won't be able to become somebody powerful enough to be able to direct reality in your own will. And that's just what it is. And so I think that for me, for example, when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't know. I thought that I was stepping into a realm very outside of myself. But here I am doing my 15th video, probably. I don't know if it's 15th or whatever. I stepped into the unknown. It was a very uncomfortable move for myself to be able to create my own YouTube channel. There were many, many limiting beliefs, but here I am creating this video, and I feel, while I'm creating this video, I just feel very fulfilled from the inside. I just love that I am able to move on and embrace my purpose, and to be able to bring all these ideas that I have into mind into videos, which is a crystallized form. So here I am, a magician creating his own purpose and living his own purpose. So that's just a small bracket that I wanted to put there, so you can actually see that in your own life and self-reflect on what is like on all these times that you were a fool and you embraced the mistakes and you stepped into the unknown, that nothing was really sure. You came out stronger, and you came out with things that you never would learn if you didn't step out of this uncomfortable, out of your comfort zone. So this is what it means to step out of the comfort zone and become the fool, and then become the magician. All right, so, and now, the magician on the Kabbalistic tree, on the tree of life. So the magician is linked to the Hebrew letter Beth. I'm gonna put it up at the screen right there, which means house. Now, why is the magician the house? Well, you will find that the temple that we are all talking about, the temple that we that when we were younger, I mean, personally, me, I was going to a temple, like a church, to find God, let's say. But later down the road, I realized that the temple is within, and you are the house. You are the powerhouse that can channel this divine energy into material world, and you are the vessel to be able to do that. You are God within your own right, and you can create your own reality the way you want it to. So you are the house, you are the vessel for the magician to take place. You are the magician. So now we talked about the fool that connects Kether with Chokmah, which is going to be Kether to wisdom. But what about Kether to Binah? So Kether, being this Neptunian energy, the waters of the higher plane, can be crystallized through Saturn. All right, so Saturn is known for crystallization and discipline and order, and so Saturn is ruling the planetary sphere, is located at the planetary sphere of Binah on the tree of life, which is gonna be understanding. And so now you understand how to channel this divine essence from Kether and to materialize it through the power of Saturn, to be able to take responsibility and to be able to be consistent and use these four tools that you have, these four elements, in order to create something. So the path that corresponds to the magician is the path that connects Kether, which is going to be the ground, the source of divine energy, to Binah, which is understanding, which is the principle of structure and form. All right? So the matrix is ruled by Saturn. It's a crystalline structure and form to be able to produce catalyst. And you as a magician, you are taking your own divine essence, your own soul's energy, and you channel that into the physical plane to create the life that you want. So be the magician you were born to be, I would like to say. And so what is the alchemical connection? So in alchemy, there is the principle of, I'm probably gonna mispronounce it, but it's fine. It's solve et coagula. Solve et coagula, which means, this is Latin, which means dissolve and coagulate. Now, what does it mean? It means it's the fundamental alchemical process of breaking down things and to rebuild them into a new state. So the magician will take all this infinite potential, break it down into ways that are understood for him, and then rebuild them to the material plane. So you're taking the divine essence and you're materializing it to the higher state. And in order to materialize anything, you need death. All right, that's a secret. I'm gonna go into that on another video, but death is the ability to transform and the ability to take one energy and to transform it to another. This is alchemy, and this is an alchemical process that the magician goes through in order to create a life that is desirable and has a purpose. All right, so now when it comes to the positive applications of this card, is gonna be someone that can use their charisma to create a life that they want, but it can also be used in a manipulative way, which is gonna be the dark side of the magician, which is gonna be using these talents that you have for at the expense of others, and using the talent that you have in order to manipulate others. That's going to be the dark side of the magician. And I'm not saying do not embrace the dark side, but just know that there are both sides in this card. And yeah, it's like it is what it is, you know. Everything has a positive and a negative side. The magician is a magician, and he can turn positive and he can also turn negative. it's just like a sword. You hold the sword, if you can hold it correctly, it becomes a valuable tool. If you cannot hold it correctly, you may cut yourself. So now also the negative aspect of this card is someone that is overconfident and arrogant and cannot really have the ability to change. They're too stuck in the ego and their abilities, and that will come and break down in time. And a true magician can embrace also the power of the water element, which is going to be being receptive, being able to change and let go of things. So these are the challenges for the magician. Now, what is the practical wisdom that we can learn from the magician? So the ability to harness your tools in a creative way, just like your intellect, your emotion, your body, being able to move inside the physical plane and create changes. Go to work for yourself, create all these projects that you have in your mind, but they are still in your mind. Now, the ability to take them from your mind, that you said, I'm going to do this whole time, and you've been saying that for a long time, needs to be balanced out with action. All right. And magic itself, when we talk about magic and the occult field, there is nothing that can come if you cannot do action. Like, let's say, for example, you do this powerful spell to meet a girl. All right. If you don't expose yourself outside on the physical plane, do you expect that the girl will just come and knock at your door? Or let's say that you cast this powerful spell to attract money. All right, you did that. You aligned the mental, the emotional, then the spiritual, you worked with these entities. Now, do you think that by staying back there and not taking action in the physical plane, money is gonna come to you? You got to create channels for this money to come to you, and this takes action in the physical. And so that's a misunderstanding about occultism and magic. Is like you are taking the favorable outcomes in the future and you're bringing them down into your timeline. But the thing is, if you do not take action, none of them will be able to materialize. So I guess that's a good thing to say right here, right now, about the magician. Now, another practical wisdom that the magician also gives us is that we can clearly define what we want to achieve, and the magician teaches us the importance of being clear with what we want and to have a focused will in manifestation. Now, also the ability to act with integrity and to act with purpose is a key when it comes to the magician, because the magician is not somebody that is out of touch with their intuition. The purpose of your life comes from your intuition, and it comes from inside. And then you're taking all these tools to go ahead and manifest that. And you have to ensure that your actions are aligned with your truth and your higher purpose, to avoid becoming a manipulative and a shadow side magician that just wants to manipulate everyone. And actually what's taking place is that you have been manipulated in the past and there is a deep-seated trauma on that, and now you want to do the same thing to other people for revenge. But a true magician has the ability to embrace the feminine essence and go inside and process that thing. Just because somebody manipulated you in the past doesn't mean you should act the same way. You should act from a state of aligned truth and a higher purpose. All right. And I'm not saying you should be love and light all the time. Like, love and light is just a very misunderstood concept. Everyone in the spiritual field thinks that it's all about love and light, but your ability to create boundaries and be a beast if you want to is also embracing the element of fire, and it's something that you should do. So the magician also teaches us the importance of balancing out the spirit and the matter, and to be able to take our intuition and ground it into a practical action. All right. So let's conclude a little bit. So the Fool that embodies the potential and limitless energy is continued by the Magician that can channel this energy into a focused creation. So the Fool surrenders to the universe to show him things and step into the unknown, and the Magician actively takes step in order to transform the Fool's potential into the physical plane. So the Fool leaps without planning, but the Magician plans and acts deliberately. Now, the transition from the Fool to the Magician marks the evolution from unconscious potential to conscious mastery. And this is what we are aiming for. We are aiming for to bridge the unconscious mind with the conscious mind and literally become magicians and master magicians on the first place. All right? That's the occultism, and that's eventually the highest principle of occultism and magic. The magician is a balanced being that can embrace all the four elements, and it's not this just weird guy that wants to control the world. It's also the guy that, and the woman, like we're talking about he, but the magician is also applied to women. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying he because I see him in the tarot card displayed as a male. All right. And there are feminine figures inside the tarot, and we're going to see that moving forward to the next cards. And so that's the whole thing. To bridge the unconscious raw potential into conscious mastery, and to create a life that is fulfilling and serves a purpose, not only for you, but the collective itself. All right. I think this is what I had to say about the magician. And I think that at the end of the series, I'm gonna go and create a film that connects all these tarot cards all together to kind of show what's the journey of the tree of life of Kether, of the divine, and the way it manifests down into the physical plane. And yeah, that's it. If you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And in my tarot readings, except from now, I'm describing the cards in a way that I give you the hidden meanings of this card. In tarot card readings, they actually can be applied into our lives, and I can also give psychological as well as spiritual guidance when it comes to tarot readings, and that's coming up soon. So subscribe and like, because you would want to get advantage of that. I'm gonna do a very, very powerful readings, and I think that they're gonna help the individual to take advantage of them greatly. All right. So that's what I had to say about the magician. A simple 30-minute video. I could sit here and talk for hours, but I just tried to put the magician in a nutshell. All right. So thank you for being here. And remember, you are a magician on your road, right? And all the things that we are talking about, shadow work and stuff like that, is bringing into balance the feminine and the masculine principle, and bringing the unconscious and the conscious mind, and kind of processing the traumas, the mental beliefs that we have, in order to create a life that is fulfilling, and we actually can manifest our soul into this realm. So thank you very much for watching the video, and see you on the next series, on the next tarot card. Bye-bye.